If you're gonna work with reclaimed wood, this is one of the best tools you can buy. This tool scores extremely high for me on the utility and versatility you get for the dollars that you spend, almost analogous to a router, which I consider to be one of the most versatile tools. This tool can come with a huge range of sanding heads to condition, prepare, add texture to, and clean the old reclaimed wood that you're working with. And the riddle we're trying to solve with this old reclaimed wood is to somehow preserve some of or enough of the character and still make useful, beautiful pieces of furniture. And essentially what we're trying to do is get down into the dips and grooves, clean them out so we can then use the wood. So in many cases, before I start any project, I'll quickly run over it with one of the brushes on the restorer just to kind of see what I'm working with. So then when I go on to the joinery and the wood prep, I kind of know the surface that I'm dealing with and I know which ones I want to try to keep at the end. So here's some of the most important heads you're going to want. The wire brush, this is like a really aggressive way to get in and clean, rip out soft fibers, clean out stubborn dirt and stuff like that. The nylon brush, which is a little less aggressive, right? It's nylon versus steel. If it's kind of moderately dirty and a moderate amount of stuff you have to clean up and some texture you want to add, then this is a good one to use. And then you've got two types of sanding wheels. One is the flat sander, which has basically just a whole bunch of pieces of paper sideways. And then you have the flapper sander, which has a whole bunch of different ones. Let me show you how they work. Okay, now the heads switch out real easy. You pop those two deals up, and then make sure you've got that cross thing on the bottom, which goes down and engages with that. Slide it in. Pop it back on top, fasten it down, you're ready to go. Okay, so this is the steel wire brush one. And now on this wood, obviously we have the grain running this way, but we also have these saw marks that are running the other way. And I'm gonna try and clean this out using the aggressive wire brush. You can see that really got down into the cracks and stuff like that and cleaned up all the dirt, and I can really see the saw marks and everything that I'm working with. You can also see that it really starts to tear out some of the soft fibers. So it's kind of a rough surface, like it's cleaner, but it's rougher at this point. And now I'll switch over to the nylon brush. Flip this board around. And so this will be a little bit of a less aggressive way of doing the same thing. And because the brushes aren't as hard and they aren't made of steel, they won't tear out as much of the soft fibers. And there you can see you kind of have a smoother surface. It still cleans it all out, and you have a bit of a smoother surface. It also was able to get down into the cracks a little better because the nylon is a little bit more flexible, obviously, than the steel. So those are the first two. Now we'll step down to the 120 grit sandpaper wheel. Now with these ones, because they're all individual bristles, obviously they can go down individually into the cracks and clean out. Whereas these ones won't be able to individually go down to the crack. They're a bit more of a surface plane. So you can see here, that cleans off all the top area and just sands the very top, and you still basically have some of the dirt and grit. So this is great for the top and to get a smooth surface. I would still come back with one of the other ones though to come and clean out. I might come back with the flapper sander or with the nylon brush and clean those out. Now we'll use the flapper sander, which is a whole bunch of little pieces of sandpaper, and they can individually go down and clean. So it's kind of the intermediary between those two. It's both individual, but it's sandpaper. There, now there you can see that one really got down and prepped both the top and the lower stuff. Like you can kind of see the difference. Here, the straight sandpaper sanded the top off, but still kind of left stuff in the grooves. Whereas this one went down and cleaned the top and the bottom. You can still come back with the sanding paper afterwards and still get a smoother surface on the top. So these are the heads that I use on the restorer for board prep, for cleaning and prep. There's also a whole bunch of heads for sanding and buffing and things like that. This is specifically for taking old reclaimed wood, exposing the character, getting it nice and clean, and getting it ready for your projects. And go check them out. It's a very reasonably priced tool for the amount of utility and usefulness that you get out of it.